to A Night at the Movies with Glarkis. Today, we will be talking about the wonderful biopic that is Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm joined today by Thompson McGregor, esteemed film critic, and Kenneth Gilhugen, a esteemed film critic. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for coming along. I wanted to do something a little different today, so a little treat for our guests. We brought what's called the mystery box, and by the end of this episode, we're gonna reveal to you guys what's inside the box. So it's a nice treat, right?
Can't wait.
Yes. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks again for coming.
We said I could say a few words.
Sure.
At the start. Should I? This camera. I want to apologize to everyone. The last episode, I said some things that I hurt a lot of people, and that wasn't my intention. I try to bring joy and happiness to the world whenever possible, and I've discussed it with my team, and I'm gonna be getting counseling very soon. So.
All right, gentlemen. So let's talk a little bit about Bohemian Rhapsody. Well, let's describe the film first. Let's talk about the film a little bit. What's this movie about?
Bohama Rhapshaidie is a film about Queen.
Anne.
Queen, like Helen Mirren, one of the greatest actors of our generation.
Queen Anne, played by Helen Mirren, is the star of the movie. Here, boldly interpreted as a British man, played by Rami Malek, which I think is an interesting choice given the title of the movie. What do you guys
I
think?
heard that they did it deliberately because
Really?
Helen Mirren wasn't available, so they got Rami Malek, and Rami Malek said, "I'll do it. I'll do the film if you name the film after me." That's why, we'll get to that in the title sequence of this review, but that's why Bohemian Rhapsody makes no sense as a title.
Yes, it's very confusing in the movie. I'll agree with you there.
Now, as far as the theme of the film goes, what themes are we seeing this movie follow?
Let's 1, 2, 3, and then let's say it together. Family.
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 Family is definitely the theme of this
The
film.
theme of the movie is family. So.
Do it again. One more. How many more?
What would you say the inciting incident is?
There's a wonderful scene. I'm sorry, can you take this?
In Queen, with Helen Mirren, there's a great scene in which she is given her position to be queen by Neville Chamberlain. And we find out that in 1950, I think 2 or 3, that she became the queen that she is now, currently, in the Commonwealth that I live in. And then there was a film much later called Bohama Rhapshaidie. And in that film, there is a great moment where we find out about the band Queen. And it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake that Queen and Queen are the same thing. And that is how the film starts with Freddie Mercury. There's a great moment early in the film when we kind of see the whole film. And it's called a framing device in film lingo for you laymen out there.
I always pronounced it a deviche, but you are a foreigner, so I can forgive you this time.
In the framing device of this film, we find out that Freddie Mercury is preparing to go to Live Aid, one of the most famous concerts of all time, 1985. Watch Live Aid on YouTube. In this framing device, Freddie Mercury walks with his bare feet down a hallway with cats. This is it. It's telling you, cats have families, Freddie Mercury has a family. That's what the film's about. What was your question again? I missed your question.
You forgot to mention something. I'll take it from here. What's that thing on your face? What do you call this? What do you call that? Can't.
Devashay.
No, it's like this. This. What is it? What do you call this? This right here.
Epidermis.
That's no. Keep going. Up. Next layer.
Lips.
Keep going.
Nose.
Let's move it south. This thing right here.
The area between lips and nose.
I believe it's called a mustache. And it's important to note that at the beginning of the movie, Freddie Mercury has a mustache. I noticed it. You noticed it. Everyone was looking at Freddie Mercury's mustache, and then the scene moves on, and he doesn't have a mustache. And you go, wait, I thought this was a movie about family. And then you go, and then the movie's like, it's time to introduce Freddie Mercury's family. And you're thinking, oh, I see. The mustache replaced his family later on. And then you go out and take a huge dump in the lobby of the movie hall. And then you come back. And he, as the main character of a movie, he drives the events forward. And, you know, you would think like, oh, is he the queen? Is he the queen of England? He's not. He's the queen of the band Queen. But there are other people, and they're Prince Brian May, Princess bassist of Queen, and
Duke Roger Taylor.
I think he had a dog. He had a dog, right? I used to have a dog. I don't know.
Let's talk about the inciting incident.
Let's talk about the dog.
I believe that
Can
was...
we talk about the dog?
Is he going to keep doing that throughout my whole shot? Because I'm not going to accept that. I liked it better with the other guy.
Whoa.
Anyway, the inciting incident of this film. Let's get to that. Why don't you ask me about the inciting incident, actually?
Oh, okay. What is the inciting incident?
I'm glad you asked that. Great question. Whoever thought of that question, genius. Anyway, the inciting incident of this film is a great moment early in Freddie Mercury's career. And by career, I mean family. And by family, I mean his childhood. And in that moment of his career childhood, his brother and him are fighting in a barn. And he gets chopped in half by a machete. When this happens, Freddie is so distraught that he walks through his neighborhood. And he lives in Boston, by the way. He's not British. He's from Boston. He walks through his neighborhood and he sees a blinking Chinese restaurant light that says something in Chinese -Mercury, but only the -Mercury part is illuminated. And that's how he says, that's my name, Freddie Mercury. It sets up everything we need to know about the film. Family, Freddie Mercury, it's done.
I heard that's where they got the inspiration for Jurassic Park 2.
It's true.
I was not aware of this.
No, it's true.
Says who?
Is my word not good enough
Should
for you?
Did you go to the Census Bureau for this?
Let's back that up a little bit. Bryan Singer did not direct this film. The prison guard at Bryan Director's cell directed this film via explicit directions from Bryan himself. I was his cellmate, so I don't know where you were steamed.
Well, guess who also was his cellmate? My friend, who I'm not going to name.
Well, I killed that guy, the unnamed prisoner. We all know who we're talking about.
And guess who my friend's dad is? Me. Okay? So, don't go on and tell me, oh, I was Bryan Singer's cellmate, and now there's no conflict in the film because he didn't inspire conflict in the film.
I wasn't saying that there wasn't any conflict in the film. I'm saying that Bryan Singer didn't direct the conflict in the film. His cell guard did.
I'm just saying that
Bryan would tap out with a spoon on his cell via Morse code instructions for Rayman.
I would just say that I fundamentally
Mallard
disagree.
duck.
Can I say something? I fundamentally disagree with everything you're saying. The secret is, I'm Bryan Singer, I made this film, and I was there.
If you're Bryan Singer, then that means...
Okay, now I will eat a sandwich in the microphone. Let's talk about the title of the movie. Why Bohemian Rhapsody?
I'll take this question, Kenneth.
Sure.
So, you might ask yourself, why would they call it Bohemian Rhapsody? And I would say it's because it's the most impactful thing in Freddie Mercury's life. There's a moment, there's a sequence. Freddie, he's staying there and they're writing music. And he goes outside one morning after having breakfast, ham and eggs, and he looks at a barn and he looks at a gate and he sees cows and then Bohemian Rhapsody. But then he titled the film and the song Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Which makes sense to me. I mean, it was the most impactful moment of his life. He was out in the morning, looking at a gate, looking at cows, Bohemian Rhapsody.
And all the while, during the scene where he's coming up with the name of Bovine Ringdings, the bassist, what's his name? The Princess.
John Deacon.
Princess Deacon. We see him sleeping in a bed. But he's like, it's not like a nice bed. You know, you think like, oh, I'm a British rock star. You know, you think they'd be staying at you think they'd be staying at the Queen's house. Their name is Queen, so you think like, oh, why aren't they at a castle right now, right? But one of them is sleeping in the basement under a bed, and then the scene just like moves on, but you're still they want you to think, you know, what's going on in that basement? How well did he sleep last night? Is that going to affect Princess Deacon's performance throughout Bovine la 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 la? You ever see Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
No?
It's an incredible film.
I don't like films.
Yeah, all right. There's the whole movie is about, you think it's about Ferris Bueller, but it's really about Cameron. And in this movie, Brian May is the real hero of the story, much like Cameron in the John Hughes classic farce ballers doof.
Brian May, leader of Queen, as he would say.
Leader of the Queen.
Another reason why
Brilliant.
they call it Bohemian Rhapsody is because, have you ever heard of the Bohemian Grove? MK Ultra, Freemasons, things like that. Things we shouldn't be saying on this program. But I'm going to let you all in on something. Bohemian Rhapsody, Bohemian Grove, MK Ultra.
Anyway, finally we get to the scene and we realize this is actually an Austin Powers movie, because now Austin Powers is here and he's in a wacky disguise, and you go, oh, I've seen that, I know that franchise. You know, I love, but, and he does not feel groovy about, let's touch, he does not feel groovy about, bovine rain. I can't, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. He's not gonna have himself a real good time with Bohemian Rhapsody. And he's like, this is all wrong! You remember that scene, right?
The scene that my friend is talking about is another great scene in the film, and I think you are. Another great scene in the film, they told me a moment ago. Another great scene in the film, we've always been friends. Another great scene in the film was when Queen decided, midway through the film, out of nowhere, that they did not want to play disco music. In this scene, John Deacon, the bassist, great man, he doesn't tell them the song, but they instantly know because they're that in sync. And then Freddie comes in and he says, what song are you playing? And then Roger May and Brian Taylor, that's not their names, they say, we don't want to play disco. And then John Deacon says, hold on, gets his bass like bands do, and he goes, and then they play the song. It's Another One Bites the Dust. And that's the scene where you realize, hey, John Deacon could have just played the song first, like a band does, but he doesn't. And when he doesn't do that, that's when they realize, the horror, they realize, hey, maybe we should listen to our bandmates' songs before we criticize them. Right, Roger Taylor? Right, Roger Taylor? You're not the leader of Queen. Brian May is. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha.
There's a great sense of irony in that scene, because nobody's biting dust in that scene. They're in the music studio, performing music. Nobody's getting down on the ground, pushing a bunch of dust together, and then eating it and chomping down on it.
Let alone another one.
Yeah, no. There's not even because another one bites the dust would imply that
there's been several.
There's people are waiting in a queue. You know the word queue. They're waiting in line to queue like the band Queen, by the way.
Literally.
Like a family.
I literally did not watch this movie.
That Queen is a family. Queen is a family.
Theme. Done.
Team.
Are we paying them?
Team.
Are they getting paid? Remember, guys, the box coming up soon.
What's in the box?
Coming up soon. All right. I wanted to do. I wanted to ask an important question, and that is, what would what would you do differently?
Wow. I gotta say, that's a great question. Have you ever acted before? Don't.
So what would you do differently?
Well, traditionally in a film like this, you would do several things. One, you would introduce the characters and the premise early on in the film, right? No, they don't do that. They do a weird framing device for a pointless concert that really had 50 other bands. But wait, we'll get back to that. Then, what do? There's no conflict. Usually, there's a conflict early on in the film that sets up the rest of the film. This is usually called the inciting incident. But what happens is that Freddie and his family don't have a good relationship. He goes to a bar. Immediately, the person who's in charge of the band says, hey, we don't have another person to sing for our band. Freddie goes, I can sing. And then what happens is they immediately accept him. And once they immediately accept him, no conflict. Fast forward through another 10 years of Queen, we have no problems. We don't even see their gradual rise. Who wants to see that? It's been done. It's been done. It's been done. We don't need to see that. Then what happens? Freddie, who you thought was gay, gets married to a woman.
Wait a minute. Freddie Mercury is...
Anyway, the next thing that happens is Freddie and the band, they meet their new manager, who's played by Little Flüger from the great show Time of Chairs. And Time of Chairs on the home box office, you can buy now, season 8 coming out soon. Basically, what's going to happen is that he is really good and he has no conflict with them either. And then they meet Austin Powers, no conflict in that scene. It's just 10 minutes long of conflict. Why would we want to see conflict in a film? Who cares? It's been done. That's why Bohemian Rhapsody is almost like a French New Wave film. It's like a really, really complex film in which nothing happens. I mean, documentaries have more conflict than this. We don't need conflict. We just want to hear Queen music. We don't want to have to go on Apple Music, purchase it. No. $15 ticket, listen to all the Queen you want.
No.
Boom.
No.
So what I do differently? Nothing. They did it perfectly. They did it outstandingly. And then think about it. The movie's climax is Freddie telling them, prematurely in real life, that he has AIDS, which has nothing to do with the rest of the film. It just happened. And then they play Live Aid, which ironically has nothing to do with his own AIDS. Live Aid has to do with helping people in Africa, in which 50 other bands performed. It was like the new Woodstock. But for Queen, it was a very good performance. And very good is enough to constitute framing an entire movie around it. Yeah. Would I do that? No, because I'm a lesser filmmaker. I would never think of making a bunch of mundane scenes collectively put together, not really showing anything happen in the film, and then having a 20-minute sequence of recreating a real concert that you could watch today on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitter and on other things. And when you see these different amalgamations, you have a perfect film. Therefore, I would not change anything I'm done. Kenneth, go.
It's time for me to talk now. I believe it was George Harrison, leader of the Beatles, who once asked the great question of our times, what is life? What is life? And going into that, keeping that in mind, going into bong, 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 hong, rong, you ask yourself, what is life? Is it a narrative? Is there a beginning, middle, and end? No. It is a sequence of events. Things happen, and then a different thing happens, 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 and it's like here, right? There's like something happening up here, and then it's like the credits are up there, right? And you go,
Well, that's all the time we have for today. When it comes to interviews, actually, we're gonna go and do our little tradition of shouting out some tweets. At AmneZiaFilms says, "Please edit the movie." At Yuri Milaevich says, "I miss you guys. Please let me come back." Oh, Yuri. At Carlos LeGroux says, "Dollar dollar bills, y'all." At J. Apatow says, "Please don't contact Kay Gilhousen, my family, and anyone else anymore."
kind of just, it's to, like J. Apatow to Kay Gilhousen, please don't contact my family anymore.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. So it's please don't contact Kay Gilhousen?
No, kill Kay, like, at J. Apatow to Kay Gilhousen, like, it's directed towards me.
At J. Apatow says to Kay Gilhousen, "Please don't contact my family anymore." At Matt Seringo's parents say, "Wait, you're not Tamoria." At C. Bronson Estate says, "Hereby order you to cease, desist all unlicensed use of." At Serena F. says, "Can you guys not?" At Z. Gasnoff says, "Charlie Nunu, Charlie Nunu, Charlie Nunu, Charlie." At T. McGregor says, "Keep up the good fight." All right, everyone. Well, this has been another episode of A Night at the Movies with Phil Glarkis. And just like I promised, we're going to bring out the mystery box. Now, do you gentlemen have any idea what might be in the box?
I have no idea what to be inside the mystery box, Phil.
I know what's in the box. They told me earlier.
I see. Well, we're going to find out right now. Are you guys ready? Can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you. Are you guys ready? This is great. This is great.